Welcome to Mauritania, an African success story. The Islamic Republic of Mauritania is transforming itself, and it's time to take notice. The strategically located West African state offers some of the best investment opportunities on the African continent. Political, economic, and social reforms have been underway for more than a decade. The government has reduced its commercial role in the economy, limiting itself to regulatory and supervisory roles. It is keenly promoting the private sector as the engine of growth. Located in northwest Africa, Mauritania has 2.75 million inhabitants. It lies on the western edge of the Sahara and has 500 miles of prime Atlantic coastline. It borders Western Sahara and Algeria to the north, Mali to the south and east, and Senegal to the south. Mauritania became an independent nation in 1960. President Maouya Ould Sidhamed Taya has governed the country since 1984 and has made poverty reduction a major focus for the government.
We are in a process of applying a strategic program against poverty. This program is being developed along with the help of the government, labor unions, and private institutions, and will be executed in all the regions of Mauritania. There are regions in the country that are experiencing severe poverty, and we will begin with those regions. The program is on the right track, and we are confident that this will be a positive development for our country.
The country's name comes from its dominant ethnic group, the Moors, who speak the Hassaniya dialect of Arabic and are traditionally nomadic. Mauritania has a considerable population who speak Fula, Wolof, or Soninke, and many of these people have come into the country through the Senegal River from the rest of Western Africa. The country has a deep-rooted class structure. There are excellent opportunities across the economy for American investors.
Mauritania is a very, very recent country. It only started to exist as a country about 45 years ago. And before 1960, the population was nomadic. In 1960, there wasn't 1 mile of tarred road. Everybody will tell you that. So the country has come a long way in a very short time. The economy is a bit difficult because there isn't all that much raw material, and because the country has a tradition of trade.
The biggest challenge is in fact that Mauritania has a lot of opportunities. It's a small, young, fast-growing country. So the capacity building of the people, the training, the education of the people, this is one of the major challenges of Mauritania. A lot of countries would like to have this kind of challenges, but with oil arriving, with a lot of potential in other sectors, in fact, the problem of Mauritania, major problem of Mauritania may be capacity building.
With the help of non-governmental organizations and funding, the government has liberalized the exchange system, reformed the fiscal and financial systems, and privatized many state-owned companies. Mauritania boasts an impressive average annual growth rate of 4% over the last 5 years.
Mauritania, over the last couple of years, has had an improved macroeconomic situation, and overall, those indicators look good. The major challenges, in my opinion, are linked to an important increase of resources linked to the exploration of oil. It is particularly important that those additional resources, which will over the next 2 or 3 years be equivalent, if not superior to official development assistance, be managed in a sustainable and durable way so as to preserve the interest of future generations.
Mauritania enjoys good relations with the United States. The U.S. was the first country to recognize its independence. Relations have improved over the last decade as the country has adopted a democratic constitution and held free elections. In this program, we will examine the strong growth sectors of the Mauritanian economy. The Ministry of Finance has been very successful in ensuring the proper allocation of funds within the national government. This has resulted in trust from foreign investors and a surge in the country's confidence.
I was impressed by the progress of the last year, and I want to take this opportunity to express the progress in the administration and its application for the future. I want to congratulate the Mauritanian people for respecting and properly executing the laws which has given our country international credibility.
Mauritania established its national currency, the oghia, in 1973. The country's financial system has been totally liberalized and privatized. The Central Bank of Mauritania has a supervisory and regulatory role. As a result, banking practices have greatly improved.
The banking sector in Mauritania is pretty new. The oldest bank is 30 years old. There are today 8 banks privately held and 1 bank that's government held in Mauritania. We're all working on developing new financial products that are adapted to our clientele needs. And so far, all the products that have been put into the market have received a warm welcome from our customers, and all of us, all the banking sector, each bank in the industry is working toward developing new products for our clientele.
An estimated 60% of cash in the country is not kept in banks. The capital Nouakchott, home to the majority of the population, still services just 50,000 accounts.
Mauritanian banks and the government are working towards educating people and informing them of the benefits of working with the banking system for their private needs and their commercial needs. Mauritania is mostly a cash economy, but customers are more and more beginning to understand that they need the banking sector to develop their businesses, and we have more and more customers all throughout the banking network.
Certainly there is room for growth in the banking sector. Increased competition would create more products and services for customers. Coming up next, fisheries and maritime industries. For more information, visit www.us-television.tv.
Welcome to premium hospitality and excellent service at the Hotel Halima, your choice for accommodation in Mauritania. Located in the center of the capital, Nouakchott, we are a family-run business. We provide a true home away from home in Mauritania. We are proud to ensure all our guests receive a high level of personalized attention, welcoming and friendly, with top international standards. We look forward to seeing you soon. Hotel Halima, the first choice for international travelers.
For more information, visit www.us-television.tv. Mauritania has 500 miles of Atlantic coastline with some of the richest fishery resources in the world. Fishery products rank second among exports, accounting for 40% of the country's total exports.
Mauritania is a developing country. The fishery sector is important because not only is it widely consumed by Mauritanians, it is also a sector that employs a lot of people. There are 30,000 jobs in the fishery sector, and it accounts for 40% of foreign currency exchange, 25% of government income, and 10% of the gross national product. This proves that, for the time being, the fishery sector is a very important sector in our country.
More processing of fishery products will help the country to increase its exports. Currently, much of the total annual catch is directly exported without value-added processing taking place. There is potential to begin exporting Mauritania fish to the U.S. with the right commercial contracts.
We want Americans to come and participate in the fishery sector in Mauritania because there is a lot of potential. We all know that Americans consume large amounts of fish. And we also know that Americans are very highly skilled in the transportation industry. We would like to see Americans operating from here and importing our products.
In the coastal town of Nouadhibou, there are projects underway to expand the port and develop better warehousing. The government has highlighted the fishery sector as a key part of its strategy to fuel economic growth and fight poverty.
Americans should come to Mauritania now because we enjoy a good political relationship with them. More importantly, there are a lot of opportunities here for them, and we still have a lot of unexploited stock. We need to utilize American technologies for the growth of our sector, as fisheries is a very beneficial sector. Americans are very intelligent people who know how to make money. And I believe that this sector is the one that can generate high revenues.
Agriculture and livestock contributes between 20 to 35% of Mauritania's GDP. It also accounts for 48% of all jobs. Many people here rely solely on agriculture for their livelihoods. The sector has already been liberalized to improve production levels, quality, processing, and exports.
The agriculture and livestock sector makes up 20% of Mauritania's gross domestic product and employs a big number of the workforce. The sector plays a very important role in our fight against poverty and unemployment. The Chamber of Commerce is working in conjunction with the government of Mauritania to modernize this sector and diversify production while setting international commercial links, which we could use to sell our products outside of the country.
For sure, Mauritania is not just a desert country. It has a unique advantage over other African nations as the closest tropical country to Europe. There are areas that benefit from a lot of rain, and it is also home to the huge Senegal River. Investment partnerships would help the agricultural sector to develop its potential. This sector would benefit from partnerships with all sorts of small and medium-sized enterprises. Mauritania suffers from a lack of technical sophistication among producers and needs better food storage and processing facilities. Sustainable modernization is the government's goal for the agricultural sector. Coming up next, oil and energy. For more information, visit www.us-television.tv.
Welcome to premium hospitality and excellent service at the Hotel Halima, your choice for accommodation in Mauritania. Located in the center of the capital, Nouakchott, we are a family-run business. We provide a true home away from home in Mauritania. We are proud to ensure all our guests receive a high level of personalized attention, welcoming and friendly, with top international standards. We look forward to seeing you soon. Hotel Halima, the first choice for international travelers.
For more information, visit www.us-television.tv. Mauritania is set to become one of Africa's major oil producers. Foreign oil companies are already operating here, with the first crude production expected in early 2006. The newly established Ministry of Oil and Energy is keen to make the best use of its offshore petroleum and gas reserves.
How can we, as a nation, utilize our resources for the development of our country? This is the main challenge. Our natural resources are something that we have to open up and use. We have the resources and have to be open to other countries and invite them to invest in Mauritania. We cannot close the doors to the outside world and say nobody else can touch our resources. We have to be open and flexible to investors and stay true to our commitments to them. Our country needs investors. We have to open up. Let's keep this in mind.
In 2001, exploratory drilling began to show significant deposits of offshore oil. Mauritania has estimated oil reserves of 140 to 180 million barrels. Research also shows major natural gas reserves. Over the next decade, the oil and gas sector should offer major opportunities for foreign contractors and suppliers.
Mauritania is a country that expects a lot from private investors in terms of its future development, and it wants to balance, and I believe they are absolutely right, the assistance they receive from official development agencies and direct private investment. I think there's a lot of potential for American private investors.
A good example of healthy foreign investment returns can be found in the country's telecommunications sector. Mauritania's telecommunications sector has been booming ever since it was privatized 5 years ago and has attracted hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign direct investments. Morocco and Tunisia have been major investors in Mauritania. Tunisia Telecom now owns a 51% stake in Mattel, the country's first GSM operator. In 2004, Mattel counted a total of 200,000 prepaid subscribers and achieved growth of 36% over the previous year. Internet services are also set for strong growth as costs become more affordable for individual users. A few internet cafes are springing up in the major cities of Nouakchott and Nouadhibou, putting a growing number of the population online. The government's education strategy is aimed at providing every child with 10 years of basic schooling, followed by training opportunities for adults tailored to the requirements of the labor market. Higher education objectives are geared to containing costs while enhancing both quality and relevance in order to ensure a better match between the education provided and the country's socio-economic development needs, notably through the expansion of scientific and technical education. Another long-term objective is to eradicate illiteracy. To this end, an important pillar of the literacy strategy is the greater participation of the Mahadra, or traditional Quranic schools, in the literacy campaign through extension, training, and logistical support. In addition, the strategy will aim to foster more extensive involvement of civil society organizations in the design, execution, and monitoring of literacy programs.
Illiteracy puts a hold on our development and progress. It keeps us from curing certain diseases. And it also increases the poverty rate in our country. Since 1987, we have created a state secretariat to fight against illiteracy. Since the battle is far from being won.
certaines maladies qui empêchent d'enrayer la pauvreté.
نحن في موريتانيا نعتبر بأن محور.
Here in Mauritania, we believe that fighting illiteracy is the base factor in fighting against poverty. Poverty comes from illiteracy, and when we fight illiteracy through strong educational programs, we give people the tools in order to succeed and stand out. Poverty and illiteracy are part of one vicious circle. When we fight illiteracy, we break this circle. And our duty is to focus on modern education while maintaining certain techniques from the past.
هذه الدائرة ونخرج الإنسان نحرر من العوائق التي جعلته فقيرا.
The role of women in the country has never been more prominent. Women are being more active in the political, economic, and social arenas. The respect for women's rights has been a very important step in Mauritania's progress.
In the coming years, our ministry endeavors to create a program that emphasizes on several issues involving women. First, in the economical field, and second, in the services field. We need to improve the level of services by women in the public sector and protect women's rights. We will establish a balance between men and women in all fields and levels within the country.
Mauritania plans to use its resources as the basis for harmonious development of its education sector. The private sector is encouraged to play a greater role in helping the government increase the supply of high-quality education for all. Coming up next, tourism. For more information, visit www.us-television.tv.
We provide a true home away from home in Mauritania. We are proud to ensure all our guests receive a high level of personalized attention, welcoming and friendly, with top international standards. We look forward to seeing you soon. Hotel Halima, the first choice for international travelers.
For more information, visit www.us-television.tv. Mauritania is a fascinating country with both Arab and African influences. The capital, Nouakchott, is the biggest city in the Sahara, a sprawling, bustling city of almost 1 million inhabitants. The city boasts some very rewarding local markets and some of the friendliest people in Africa, and is the base for various excursions throughout the country. Low crime rates, direct flights to major cities, and a stable political situation all make Mauritania ripe for tourism development.
Donc les Américains peuvent considérer que la Mauritanie est une destination touristique.
Americans should consider Mauritania as a tourism destination because it offers something original, a true sense of discovery and relaxation within an original virgin landscape. Mauritania's competitive advantage over other countries lies in ecotourism, which is starting to be a global trend. People are starting to notice that ecotourism is very important, and Mauritania is leading in this trend. Finally, Americans can experience in Mauritania a traditional human culture that hasn't changed over the years.
Pour la Mauritanie, pour attirer des gens intéressés à voir la culture humaine qui n'a pas encore subi de très grandes transformations.
The Adrar Plateau is a highland area of the Sahara Desert in northern Mauritania. It was heavily settled in the Neolithic era, and the more recent aridification has left much of the archaeology intact. Most notably several rock formations and oases providing a spectacular view. The plateau is known for its gorgeous and shifting sand dunes and is home to a small human population, centered on the town of Attar. Chinguetti in the northwest is known as a religious center and was formerly a focus for trans-Saharan trade routes. Its mosque is said to be the soul of this holy city. The Old Quarter is also home to 5 Quranic libraries, where families have guarded ancient collections of manuscripts for generations. Northeast of Chinguetti is the town of Wadan. It was founded in 1147 and soon became an important caravan and trading center. The old town, though in ruins, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is still substantially intact.
On behalf of myself and the National Office of Tourism in Mauritania, I would like to invite all Americans, who happen to be the largest number of tourists in the world, to consider us in their visits and to visit their second home of Mauritania. We are a country that is accessible and a country that has a common link with the United States through a marriage of cultures. We offer Americans the possibility to discover a country that has exceptional landscapes and an even more exceptional culture.
With an abundance of emerging sectors, there's no better time to visit Mauritania than now.
Mauritania has probably one weakness, which is also a strength. It's very poorly known by people. Very few people know Mauritania.
Well, I understand Mauritania is not very well known in America, and yet it deserves to be well known. It's a magnificent country because of its nature, the desert, the sea, and it's a country that has not been polluted, if I may say so, by too many tourists coming, and I think it should now is the right time to come to Mauritania and explore its richness and its diversity. Also, Mauritania is a wonderful country because of its people. The people are of very mixed origin, but they all have one thing in common. They are extremely hospitable to foreigners. They love to welcome foreigners and to share with them their diversity and their culture.
Thank you for watching Mauritania, an African success story. With many opportunities for international investors, Mauritania is well worth discovering.